from that vessel, Captain. Plasma energy combination. Don't interfere with it.
For every character on the Bionic Bunny show, there are many more doing their jobs behind the scenes. It's the same here on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Visual you see on the screen except the actors. My department provides the designs from which the model makers at ILM build the miniatures of the spacecraft.
Millions of viewers have been deceived for 50 years into believing that the Star Trek universe was constructed using the most advanced cinematic technology.
Out of time? Oh, well, I was going to introduce you to just kidding. The crew of the Enterprise. My chief engineer, Commander Charlie Tucker, will be played...
You can't even speak. What? Oh, God, good God.
There have been 3 people from 2 targets onto one pad before.
Jim! Bones! I got him.
The truth is completely the opposite. The magnificent Enterprise spaceship once took flight thanks to chopped-up ping-pong balls and warrior armor actually made out of bubble wrap.
Starships on the wall, which are the most important piece.
Of course, yes.
The pivotal moment in Star Trek First Contact is when the Enterprise D gold model
The line
is
must be
destroyed,
drawn here.
Right? That's the whole plot.
The plan was to develop it through the TV division.
And the reason for that was very simple, economics.
Now, a lot of people misunderstand. They think that Star Trek
actually wanted to do the engines himself. He said, I know you're designing this, but I want to do the engines because I have this idea.
Richard's big idea was to reshape the Enterprise.
Having spent their youth studying every single episode, even the most passionate fans had never recognized the silly mistakes and the hidden scars concealed behind the screen. Brace yourselves, because the secrets right hereafter will permanently alter the way you perceive this science fiction monument.
We're talking about your life!
The rule cannot be broken.
Go!
Try to get him back online.
90 seconds to detonations.
The Daring Patron. In 1964, when screenwriter Gene Roddenberry brought the manuscript of the opening episode titled The Cage to knock on the door of the NBC television network, he immediately encountered a blunt rejection. The high-level executives of the network coldly concluded that the storyline was overly complex and completely lacked mass entertainment value. This highly potential science fiction project stood on the brink of being permanently killed off amidst a heavy atmosphere of skepticism from the media. Amidst a desperate juncture, seemingly with no way out, a fateful turning point occurred behind the closed doors of Desilu Studios. Lucille Ball, the queen of comedy films and co-owner of the studio, saw a trans-era vision that her male colleagues completely missed. Weighing heavily with financial pressures crushing the company's business system, she decided to use her personal assets to directly reinvest and stand as guarantor for the second pilot episode of Star Trek. This bold action was once regarded by the financial world as a crazy gamble for an independent studio. Even so, the steadfastness of the female comedian triumphed over all commercial prejudices. In a recorded historical archival document, she once shared frankly about her historic decision, "I do not care about the initial profit or loss figures. I believe in the ability to connect people through stories about the future." The Los Angeles Times newspaper later honored this effort as a saving ray of light, helping the franchise overcome strict censorship barriers from the network. Thanks to that turning point decision, the spaceship in Star Trek officially took off successfully. Without the drastic intervention of this powerful woman, the half-century legacy would likely have remained forever in the past. The Font War. The rapid rise of the character Spock, played by Leonard Nimoy, during the early stages of the Star Trek series created heavy psychological pressure on male lead William Shatner, who assumed the role of Captain Kirk. As the fame of his co-star spread widely across the television audience community, the insecurity inside Shatner grew larger and larger. To protect his sole dominant position among the cast contract negotiations between Shatner's side and the studio management, quickly transformed into extremely intense underground struggles regarding legal aspects. One of the most fiercely debated points revolved around the font size displaying the names of the stars in the opening credits sequence of each episode. Internal archival documents of the production process showed that Nimoy's legal team exerted strong pressure to incorporate a mandatory contract clause. According to this detailed regulation, Nimoy's name had to appear with an absolute size no smaller than 75% compared to the name displayed for Shatner, turning it into a true measure of power in the television industry. Starting from the fourth broadcast episode titled The Naked Time, this change was officially applied along with the familiar introductory text on the small screen. This strictness sometimes forced the graphics team to work diligently for many hours just to measure pixel ratios in order to satisfy detailed requests from the lawyers. Sharing about backstage pressure in a media interview, actor William Shatner once tacitly acknowledged this fierce competition. "We are not just colleagues on the set, but also rivals trying to define our value through every line of text on the screen." Even though the underground battle over titles created no small amount of awkwardness for the production crew, it inadvertently pushed both stars into a state of professional competition, making the on-screen performance sharper and more captivating than ever. Scars of War. In the Star Trek series, the character of Chief Engineer Montgomery Scotty always leaves a deep impression thanks to his composure and superior technical craftsmanship. Behind that solid outer shell actor, James Doohan had to bear heavy physical injuries from the battlefield. On June 6, 1944, during the landing operation onto Juno Beach in Normandy, he directly led his comrades charging into a hail of bombs and bullets. Amidst the moment of life and death, he unfortunately got hit by 6 bullets. The bullet hitting his chest was fortunately blocked by a silver cigarette case, but another harsh bullet permanently robbed him of the middle finger of his right hand. Throughout many decades associated with the series, the production crew had to apply numerous sophisticated staging techniques to conceal this flaw in front of the lens. The actor always proactively turned his body so the camera caught the left angle or used his left hand to operate. For close-up scenes requiring both hands, the film crew had to use a hand double. Sharing in an interview document about the past, he once confided, "War has left me with indelible memories, but I choose to continue living and working with all that I have left." That silent sacrifice and extraordinary resilience transformed the chief engineer into an indomitable symbol, proving that real-life scars can completely transform into eternal artistic strength on the small screen. Advice that changed history. During the early days of filming the Star Trek series, actress Nichelle Nichols, who assumed the role of communications officer Uhura, once stood before the decision to bid farewell to a promising acting career. Feeling that her role was too faint, purely decorative, and completely lacking script depth alongside the main male characters, she officially submitted her request to withdraw right after the first season concluded. Nichols could not possibly imagine that a chance encounter at a charity event afterward would completely change the trajectory of her life, as well as her career turning point forever. At that day's ceremony, she had the precious opportunity to meet Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., the outstanding leader of the civil rights struggle movement in America. When hearing Nichols share about her intention to withdraw from this science fiction project, he frankly discouraged her decision. Martin Luther King Jr. strongly affirmed that the character Uhura was not merely an ordinary television role, but an extremely important symbol asserting the presence of the colored community on the map of humanity's future. In her personal memoir, Nichols once emotionally recalled the deep encouragement from the civil rights leader, "You cannot give up because you are the only one opening the door for all other people of color who are yearning to see themselves in a hopeful future." That sincerity and trans-era vision touched the depths of Nichols's heart, causing her to immediately change her decision and return to the studio set. That historical decision not only retained an iconic character, but also strongly inspired millions of global audiences. The kiss that shook America. In the history of the world television industry, the kiss between Captain Kirk and Officer Uhura in the episode Plato's Stepchildren was not simply a romantic scene, but also an act carrying profound social revolutionary significance. In 1968, a time when the weight of racism was still deeply rooted in both the social structure and collective psychology across many states of America, the decision to have a white man and a woman of color exchange an intimate kiss on television broadcasts was panic-strickenly labeled by network executives as a commercial suicide action. The sponsors at that time exerted immense and relentless pressure on the production team, immersed in the fear that such a breaking-the-mold scene would ignite widespread boycotts and lead to a disastrous decline in audience market share. The filmmaking crew was forced to face a life-or-death choice between maintaining the humanistic message of the film or yielding to public pressure to preserve operating budgets. Even though there had been backup plans such as refilming the kiss scene without letting lips touch William Shatner, and Nichelle Nichols still decided to portray that scene in the most authentic way possible. They understood that this was not just acting, but a manifesto about an equal future. Recalling that historical moment in her personal memoir, Nichelle Nichols once shared, "We knew we were creating an unprecedented precedent, the moment when prejudice had to step back before the connection among souls, regardless of skin color." When the episode officially aired, it encountered fierce reactions from some local television stations while simultaneously receiving warm support from freedom-loving audiences, officially shattering the invisible barriers on the small screen. Cold War pressures. The appearance of Navigator character Pavel Chekhov in the second season of the Star Trek series was actually not in the original plan of screenwriter Gene Roddenberry, but a direct result from intense political pressure between the two superpowers during the Cold War period. In 1967, the Soviet newspaper Pravda published a harsh article criticizing this television program for ignoring the historical role of Russian astronauts in the vision of a peaceful future. The article argued that the absence of a character coming from this country was a deliberate omission, reflecting the clear bias of American television at that time. Facing that highly sensitive wave of international public opinion, Roddenberry was forced to make a decision to change personnel structures in order to soothe the escalating diplomatic situation. The character Pavel Chekhov was hastily constructed with the goal of turning the Enterprise ship into a symbol representing all of humanity, instead of focusing solely on a single faction. Actor Walter Koenig, who was chosen to undertake this role, once shared about the unexpected birth circumstances of the character in a media interview that, "I was chosen just because my appearance bore similarities to a dynamic, youthful generation at that time, and suddenly I became the representative face for an entire nation on the small screen." Even though Chekhov's initial appearance carried heavy political diplomatic motives, this character quickly won over the full affection of numerous audiences, thanks to his naive personality and sincerity. Bringing a Russian astronaut into the senior command team was not only a wise move to resolve the diplomatic crisis of that era, but also emphasized the core message of Star Trek about a future where national borders are no longer barriers dividing human beings. Warrior armor from packaging paper. When mentioning the Klingon warriors in the Star Trek series, audiences immediately remember their rugged exterior and elaborate armor deeply imbued with alien technological vibes. Behind that outer shell lies a classic example of the creative resourcefulness of the production team when confronting tight television budgets. Instead of ordering expensive metal armor designs, the costume designers found a solution right at local stationery stores by utilizing shock-absorbing wrapping film, also known as air bubble wrapping paper, as the main material for details on the warrior armor. The process of transforming ordinary packaging plastic into fictional armor required incredible meticulousness. The costume team skillfully cut and trimmed, combining it with specialized glossy paints in order to conceal the original texture of the material. When studio lights reflected onto that metallic paint, the exquisitely shaped plastic bubbles accidentally created a rugged, sharp surface structure that was extremely impressive. Thanks to dark camera angles and clever lighting processing techniques, viewers at that time were completely convinced by the aggressive and authoritative appearance of this alien race. Bill Faze, one of the people behind the success of this unique design, once shared about his unorthodox artistic philosophy in a production interview. "My main method to turn contemporary fabrics into futuristic materials is to use things placed outside of their context. Utilizing everyday cheap items not only helped the program maintain a modest budget, but also created a distinct visual aesthetic for the science fiction genre of the 1960s. Behind that terrifying armor was not high technology, but human sharpness in the face of material limitations." The ping-pong ball ship. In the episode titled The Corbomite Maneuver of the Star Trek series, the alien spaceship named Phasaerus appeared before audiences with a deeply majestic appearance, along with a complex surface structure full of power. Behind the film set, the truth was unbelievably simple. To construct this spaceship model in the context of an extremely tight budget, the technical team of Desilu Studio had to utilize ordinary ping-pong balls as the main material. Sculptors meticulously cut dozens of ping-pong balls in half, glued them onto a plaster core layer, and then coated them with a distinctive metallic color paint. The combination of round geometric shapes when arranged in a certain order created a bizarre appearance, completely matching the description of technology beyond humanity's understanding. Even though the budget dedicated to the visual effects of the entire episode in 1966 was a mere $17,000, the production crew still created a visual miracle by adjusting the lighting system combined with sophisticated close-up shooting techniques. Utilizing cheap plastic toys became a valuable lesson regarding creative thinking in the motion picture industry. Insiders at that time admitted that they did not have many choices other than using available items to complete the work on schedule. Content recording documents once noted that budget shortages accidentally became the most powerful catalyst forcing artists to surpass the usual limits of imagination. Ultimately, that crude ping-pong ball block not only helped the film crew overcome financial crisis, but also officially entered history as a classic symbol of manual cleverness on the small screen. The alien language. In the earliest episodes of the Star Trek series, the language system of the Klingon warrior race was not complete at all, like what audiences usually see in later parts. The warriors back then only used improvised lines, dubbed over one another, with muffled sounds, in order to create a fierce appearance deeply imbued with alien qualities. In reality, the production team at that time had no intention of building a methodical language system due to pressure from tight budgets and extremely rushed filming schedules. Actors on the set back then only needed to emit strange sounds to match mouth movements in order to emphasize the nature of a bellicose race. This provisional omission stimulated strong curiosity from the fan community after the program officially concluded. Many years later, linguists decided to systematize those discrete sounds into a full grammatical rule set, turning a crude idea on the set into a complete fictional language with a distinct dictionary and complex syntax system. Sharing about this fascinating phenomenon in an interview document, actor James Doohan once expressed great surprise that, "I never thought the sounds we created so spontaneously at that time could become a language studied and learned by thousands of people worldwide." From those initial random growls, the Klingon language broke out of the framework of a regular television product to officially enter history as an immortal symbol for the boundless creativity of human beings. The truth behind the communicator. Captain Kirk's iconic handheld communicator device on the Enterprise spaceship was always an inseparable item in every exploration of strange planets. The glamour and advancement displayed on screen, on the other hand, stood in complete contrast to the extremely fragile reality of this prop on the film set. The communicators were designed with extremely weak plastic hinges, causing them to frequently snap right, while actors were performing the action of opening the lid to call the ship. Every time filming took place, the logistics team always had to stand ready with specialized duct tape rolls to secure the joints before the cameras started rolling. The fragile nature of this prop posed a major challenge for the actors. They were forced to learn how to control hand strength very skillfully, avoiding using excessive force so as not to break or shatter this important component. Many times, just a slightly overzealous lid-opening motion could ruin an entire expensive scene. Surprisingly, mass audiences never discovered those technical flaws thanks to the superb role-play capability of the main cast. They held the device in their hands with absolute confidence and seriousness, making viewers completely trust the advanced communication technology of the future. Recalling the obsession with this prop during the filming process, actor William Shatner once shared that it was truly a test of patience. We had to learn to treat it like a fragile glass item instead of a powerful military device, as the script described. Thanks to that professional handling skill, a loose plastic toy permanently became an immortal technological symbol of the science fiction genre. The journey to unveil the secrets behind the lens of the Star Trek series not only exposes the ingenious transformation talent of the filmmaking team, but is also a powerful testament to the creativity that surpasses all material limitations. From ping-pong balls acting as spaceships, cargo wrapping film turning into warrior armor, up to intense legal struggles and socio-historical decisions, every small detail contributed to molding a thriving legacy enduring through many decades. Hopefully, these untold backstage stories have brought you a deeper and fresher perspective on the classic science fiction work you cherish. If you find this video interesting and want to continue exploring many other fascinating hidden corners of cinematic masterpieces, do not forget to hit the like button, share this story, to spread knowledge, and subscribe to the channel so as not to miss the next surprising exploration journeys. See you again in the upcoming fascinating videos.